And a very good day. JC Tinsley here for WROI, WRUL Media. That's TOC, the original company Superstation. If you're listening, we're also recording this via Zoom, of course, in the era of COVID. And if it wasn't that, we have a monster snowstorm outside that would also probably keep us from getting together. But I'm very happy to be joined this morning by Holly Healy and the White County CEO class. We've got Shay Smith, Sydney Ship, Madison Wilson, Allison Chilton, Caitlin Dyke, and Haley Williams. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good. It is so great to have you here. This is very different from it's usually nice whenever we're in the downtown studio. Everybody can sort of look at each other and figure out who's going to take the lead to answer. So we'll be at a bit of a disadvantage, but we'll muddle our way through it. That's just how it goes. I want to begin, of course. Tracy Orr, the White County CEO facilitator, not able to join us this morning. She's got a sick relative. Of course, we send our prayers and best wishes for her and her family. In her place, we've got Holly Healy. Holly, how are you today? Thanks so much for joining me.
I'm good. Thanks for having us, JC, this morning. We appreciate all the time that you spend with the CEO class each year. It doesn't go unnoticed and is greatly appreciated.
Well, it is my pleasure. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you stepping up to join me this morning. I want to begin with you before I get to the girls. Let's begin with, tell me more about CEO in general. We've got viewers and listeners from outside Carmi and White County. So for them or anybody not familiar, just give them a little bit of insight into the White County CEO program.
So the White County CEO program is made up of students from both Carmi, White County and NCOE high schools. It is funded entirely by business investors, and they commit to $1,000 a year for 3 years, no more, no less. And Tracy is obviously our facilitator. We use the term facilitator instead of teacher. And then the class is governed by the White County CEO board. And again, that's all volunteer individuals who take their time to do that. And those seeking more information about the CEO program, I would encourage them to visit whitecountyceo.com. Or we also have our White County CEO Facebook page.
Brilliant. And this is year 4, year 5?
I believe it's year 4, but don't hold me to that. I'd have to go back and look and think. I've been involved with this since the beginning, so it all kind of runs together at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Same for me. I think I have gotten the honor of getting to speak to each class, and I have to ask every year. We've gotten past the initial first, second that they are beginning to run together. So for our White County CEO class, first of all, doing your schoolwork, extracurriculars, sometimes a job is a full enough plate. So girls, tell me, why did you want to take this on? And I'll begin with, if nobody wants to jump once again, this is the disadvantage of going via Zoom. I'm just going to start on my screen from my right. Sydney, talk to me about, why did you want to get involved in White County CEO?
Believe it or not, I'm kind of a shy person, and I wanted to become more outgoing through CEO. And so far it's working. I'm definitely more apt to talk to strangers, but I'm really enjoying it.
Great. Allison, anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with Sydney. I am also a very shy person, but also the skills that we learn through the CEO program, we don't learn anywhere else. And since we're graduating high school so soon, we need these skills out in the real world.
Great. Maddie?
Yeah, what Sydney and Allison said, I'm a shy person. I wanted to be more outgoing, and I've also heard so much good stuff about the CEO program from the other kids who have done it and how they've really grown with it. So, yeah.
Shay, anything you'd like to add?
I'm not from Carmi, so I wanted to get to know the people of Carmi and also how like our businesses worked and the things that we did in Carmi. and also the experiences that come with that, like how to meet a new person, how to listen to a speech that feels like it's going on forever. Like those are things that I've learned through CEO.
Right, absolutely. Caitlin.
I wanted to be more involved in what Sydney and Allison said. I really wanted to learn more than what we learned in the high school, and this gets me really involved with the community.
Great. Haley?
Same as all the other girls, except I feel as though CEO is really going to help us with like the things we're going to do in college.
Absolutely. I should have asked this before we got started, but Holly alluded to it. We've got NCOE and Carmi-White County. So rather than ask you all to speak at once, give me a hand raise if you're NCOE. Okay, so we just have one and the rest of you attend Carmi. Are any homeschooled? No, we're all Carmi-White County High School. Okay, very good. So your class project, I want to leap into that. That was just announced yesterday on the White County CEO website. Tell me more about that. Do you guys do a group project, of course, before you launch your individual business plans? So tell me about, I've already lost the name of it. It's something about White County coordinates, something like that. Whoever wants to jump in, tell me all about it.
Yeah, so Our County Coordinates is the name of it. And it's 2 different books about White County. And one is going to be more about the businesses and organizations in White County and their histories and just how they got to where they are today. And then our other one is going to be more of a children's book. And it's some fun facts about the history of White County.
Okay, brilliant. So how did you guys, I mean, this is unprecedented. I'm so sick of these certain cliche words and whatnot, but this is truly White County CEO is fairly new for us. We're only in year 5. But then to throw a pandemic on top of it, all the questions I normally ask are another step to it now. There's a whole nother thing involved. And so how did the pandemic play a role in how you went about deciding what you were going to do, or was this your aim from the get-go? And how do you sort all that out? Does everybody bring ideas to the table and then you sort of, the cream rises to the top, or just how does that happen?
Yeah, so every year Tracy has us all get sticky notes and write some ideas. We take I think about 5 minutes and we all write some ideas on a sticky note and then we put it on a board. And then the CEO just pulls them off and we read them off. And a lot of us were doing we had wrote down events and we're like, well, we can't do that. There's a pandemic. So we finally pulled off one that said, write a children's book. And we we're all like, oh, that's different. And so we just kind of were like, you know what? Yeah, we should do a product that is different. And we'll kind of I don't know, bring some uniqueness.
Yeah, absolutely it does. What are people going to find when you're taking pre-orders now? Of course, we'll get to that, but sell the product to me. Somebody who tell me what they are going to see whenever they sign up and get this book or these books.
Well, we have obviously the 2 different books, and we have 2 beautifully designed covers by Brian Cook. And the inside of the business book is really, I mean, it's just a lot of information about White County. A lot of those businesses, I had no clue how long they had been in White County, and some of them I didn't even know. And then the children's book, a lot of the facts we didn't even know. So it's not just going to be for children. A lot of adults are probably going to enjoy it too.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So how long did it take? When did you, from the point that you decide, okay, this is the direction we're going, what happened from there? Because I assume there's probably a massive amount of time of research that you have to put in to get all this information. How did you tackle that? How did you decide who does what? Anybody?
So
Sorry,
the
do you want me to
CEO,
call on
Maddie
you? I'm
Wilson.
sorry. You go
I
ahead,
gotcha.
Shay.
The CEO is Maddie Wilson, and she would like split up like who can do what, and we would also volunteer. Like if we were better in one area, we'd be like, oh, I'll do this part. Like Sydney for the business plan. Sydney would do like the math part because our CFO. And then aside for that, Maddie Wilson would just say like, oh, could you do this part and just navigate it because she's the CEO.
Okay, and that's another thing I don't think I alluded to. So within your class of White County CEO, you have a CFO and you have a CEO, right? And Maddie, you're the CEO, Sydney, you're the CFO.
Yeah,
And
and
we have a
since
doc.
we are doing Zoom so much and we have some remote students, we
Right.
added a DOC, and that's Allison Shelton.
Okay, and explain to me what a DOC is, Director of Communications?
Yeah.
Okay, very
Yeah,
good.
I'm the director of communications, and basically if we need to get a hold of anyone or a Facebook post, I'm the one that does all of that.
Okay, brilliant, excellent. So let's back up for a moment. Tell folks what a day in your life looks like within CEO. A lot of folks probably don't realize that you still have school and all this other stuff. This isn't taking the place of any schoolwork. This is one more additional thing. So you guys have to get up extra early. What do you experience on a day-to-day basis being a member of CEO?
Well, yeah, you have to get up super early and get ready and everything. And with us all being girls, we have to get up very early. And I know for me and Shay, as soon as we get to CEO, and me and Shay and Sydney, as soon as we pull up, we all sit in our cars for a little bit, and then we run inside, and then we do what we need to do. And then after CEO, me and Shay rush back to the school and run inside because we have to make it to our first hour class and not be too late. And then we have to go on with the rest of our day, and then we have to come home and do our homework and our CEO work. So
Right. It's got to be a lot, which again begs the question, you must be getting something out of it, or else why would people subject themselves to what face value would seem to be torture for a high school age individual? So you obviously are getting things out of it. What kinds of things have you learned in your meetings? Because in a lot of your meetings, you visit with local business women and men. Do any in particular stand out? Let's
I
go
know
to
for me,
yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
our meeting with you, I didn't know how radio waves worked, and you taught me a lot about radio stations. I didn't know that vibroacoustic was a thing, and then we visited them, and that was really interesting. And really, I've just learned a lot of businesses that I didn't know were in White County.
It's so easy to drive past them or ride past them for so many years, and you recognize the building, but you really have no idea what goes on inside. Haley, Caitlin, anything to add? You guys have been quiet, so I'm going to pick on you.
Yeah, I've met some people that I haven't met before, and I've also learned some things from them. I'll let Haley.
Yeah, I feel like being in CEO has really opened our eyes to how many small businesses are actually in White County and in the smaller towns. And I feel like we've learned so much, like because they're smaller businesses, so not many people get to get out and know that they're here or talk to them. So I feel like we've learned a lot just about the businesses in White County alone.
Yeah, absolutely. We've heard from other students before, and I think at least one of you has already mentioned it this morning about how CEO has given them more confidence and just improve their ability to talk to others, introduce themselves. Why do you think that is? What is it about CEO that helps people get over that hump to bring out the shyness that seems our normal status quo?
I feel like in CEO, you just have to get over that hump because most of the time we're required to talk to our speakers anyway and ask questions. And I feel like asking questions and having to talk to the speaker really helps girls and guys get over that hump.
And that's another thing I wanted to ask about. Yes, go ahead, Shay.
I was just gonna add that whenever I first like listened to a speaker, I was so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, they own a business, they do all these big things. But what I didn't realize is that they're just another person too, and they're not just gonna bully you because you don't own a business. And they know that we're high schoolers, so they're not gonna be like, oh my gosh, you don't own a business, you don't know how to. Like,
Right.
yeah.
That's one of my favorite sayings is even, I don't even remember where I saw this or heard it, but even the world's biggest CEO is still somebody's idiot son or daughter-in-law. And I'm just like, you know what? That's true. We all put our, somebody, they're just people. They're just people. So that's great that you're able to get through that. And I apologize. I have not gotten used to the thank you for letting me catch that. You raise your hands whenever you guys want to say something. I have been out of school for far too long. You guys are way more with it than I am. Another thing I wanted to ask about, and this seems to be a running thing, so I'm asking for individual insight. I think we're in year 5, and if I was guessing, over the last 5 years, I could probably count 3, maybe 4 boys that have been, or young men that have been part of this program. So whenever you look at your peers around you, why are the males not signing up for this? Is it the way of the world that women are the future leaders of America, or is there something else at play? Sydney.
A lot of people just in general are turned off by the fact that we have to get up so early. And I think boys especially really like their sleep. And they don't like the idea of getting up and dressing up, which is like we get points every day for dressing up. And I think that just a lot of that turns boys away.
Everybody else agree? Anything else to add?
I also feel like they maybe wouldn't want to take on that extra work that you have to do and are required to do in CEO because it's a lot more different than the everyday schoolwork we have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's on one hand, it's disappointing, but on the other, I look at the classes that we have and have had, and if you just look at it as students, we have had some impressive students over the years as part of CEO, regardless of what they are. And I'm very happy with the group that we've got this year. You guys are fantastic. So I want to talk to each of you individually for a moment about your specific businesses. Are you ready to unveil those? Do you know what you're doing, or is it still up in the air? Yes, go ahead, Sydney. I'm sorry.
Well, we just started yesterday officially writing our business plans.
Okay.
So we do have some sort of an idea.
Okay. But we're not unveiling that yet. Now, I don't want to push. I don't want to ask or I don't want to ask you to unveil it if you're not ready to, but if you are ready to say, this is what I'm doing, feel free. You're more than welcome. We'll go to Allison next.
Yes, so I have decided I'm going to make t-shirts. So I'm going to make faith-based t-shirts as
Okay.
well as, just regular trendy shirts as well.
Okay, fantastic. And so you're early on in the process with writing a business plan and whatnot. How did you decide on that? Did you have lots of ideas, or did you know even before you joined CEO that this is probably what I'm going to do?
Yeah, I had it narrowed down to 2, either the t-shirts or I was going to make like bath bombs and different things like that.
Okay.
And then it was just about 2 months ago, I just decided I would rather make the t-shirts and I can also incorporate my faith in that.
Brilliant. And do you know yet where people are going to be able to order those, or we're not to that point yet?
I am thinking I want to make an Etsy website, but I don't know what all goes into that, so I will have to wait and see.
Okay, fantastic. Maddie Wilson.
So my whole idea behind my business was I wanted to do something that I could repurpose. And I was kind of researching stuff online, and I found you can turn old vinyl records into like room decor, like bowls and shelves and different stuff like that, bookends. And I realized many people don't have record players anymore, and those records just end up in landfills. Well, I could just repurpose them and turn them into room decor that could be used.
Excellent. Very cool. Shay?
So I was thinking about social media management, and I would be, in a way, taking care of other people's social media platform and building their platform for them, and then spending some time teaching them how. So a lot of it would just be me investing my time and also my skills on social media as a teenager, because sometimes in a business you're older and you don't know really how to navigate the internet. But recently I've been questioning my decision, so I'm unsure right now.
Oh, I think, well, I don't want to sway you either way, but I think you're onto something there. There are a lot of business people out there that maybe even recognize that they need to be active on social media, but they're afraid of it to a point.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think you might be onto something. That's very good. Caitlin.
I have an idea of doing interior design. I don't really have my whole business plan figured out, but I have the idea of what I want to do.
Okay, fantastic. Haley?
I had a really hard time determining like something that I was actually interested in and liked doing, but I really like hunting and stuff. So I have it narrowed down to like making either earrings and necklaces or keychains out of like the bullet casing.
Okay, that is cool. That is very cool.
But I haven't decided which yet. So
I will be very excited to see where all of these go. So what's your timeline? Because you have to have it done by some point. So do you know what your timeline looks like at this point?
I think Tracy just scheduled Banker Day, but I cannot remember what day she said it would be. But I'm pretty sure she wants us to have our business plans done by next week. or the week
Okay,
after.
so you're gonna have to put your noses to the grindstone. Not that they're not already there every day of your lives. Uh, what have you learned about money, marketing, analysis that you didn't know before? Because you have met with a range of business folks that specialize in a lot of different things. Have you learned how to put together a budget and things like that?
As the CFO, I've seen a lot of money. I've dealt with the money from CEO, and it amazes me how businesses are so willing to give even through a pandemic. But Victoria, or sorry, no, I can't think of her name.
We'll get there.
Maddie's mentor,
Arlen.
Arlen Stroman.
There we go.
She was amazing. She's a CPA,
Mhm.
and she taught us how to do income statements and balance sheets. And so eye-opening to see like just how money just happens to even itself out when you don't
Right.
think it's going to.
Right, right, absolutely. Let's get into, as we're running out of time here, future plans for each of you. Sydney, we'll begin with you. You're all seniors, so do you know what lies beyond you? Do you know where you're going to college, what you're studying, or what you're doing afterwards?
Well, I am interested in science, and I think I've decided I want to be a veterinarian. And my business, I didn't mention it, but it is like dog collars and leashes and things.
Okay,
And I kind of decided on that because I want to be a vet.
excellent, excellent. And I apologize for not, I wasn't sure if everybody would be okay with mentioning
No,
what
you're
they were
fine.
aiming for, and so I started asking them after I'd already passed you.
You're good.
Allison.
I plan on first attending SIC and then transfer to USI to major in nursing.
Okay, brilliant. Maddie,
I'm attending SIUE and majoring in psychology.
brilliant. Caitlin,
I will be continuing to USI and hope to get my bachelor's in marketing, and I have an idea of real estate.
excellent. And Haley,
I plan on going to SIC to get my generals done and then transferring later on to become a lawyer and hopefully get a degree in that.
excellent. A hunting lawyer, that'll be great. And Shay,
I've wanted to be a teacher since I was old enough to talk, so I'm gonna go to Eastern Illinois University in Charleston and major in elementary education.
brilliant, wonderful. We have a well-rounded class, it appears. Trade show plans. This may be a question for Holly or because she wasn't necessarily expecting to be on the call. Do we know what the plan is for the trade show?
The board has tentatively set the trade show for April 26th at Rice Motors.
Okay,
Again, that's tentative. As you know, the world we live in seems to change rapidly right now with the pandemic. But that is the plan at this time. So stay tuned. I know that we'll be putting out more information about that the closer we get to that date.
fantastic. Ladies, thank you so very much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. It's always an illuminating conversation, and I just very much appreciate your time. Be careful going to work and the rest of your day, and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, Stacy.
My pleasure. This has been WROI and WRUL's Open Line. Maybe you joined us on air. You can also find this video cast, if you'd like to watch on replay, on our station website at WRUL.com. Have a great day.